just reported record gross profit, record net income, and record EBITDA. So great quarter for the company. Shares are up, obviously, after hours. What I'll do in this video is I'll go through everything you need to know about this earnings call. I'll go through some short interest numbers that we should cover. And at the end of the video, I will give you a price prediction for Carvana. So let's dive right in. So this company has had a focus on profitability, which is driving this Q3 beat. So they have net income of 741 million, adjusted EBITDA of 148 million. And so including Q3 best GPU of $5,952 and Q3 best non-GAAP GPU of 6,300, this validates strength and profitability of Carvana's business model. Simultaneously, 6% sequential retail unit growth and more than $400 per retail unit sequential SG&A expense reduction demonstrate early potential for significant Q4 of 2023 focus remains on further differentiating unit economics. So Carvana already has infrastructure in place to support efficient scale up upon return to growth. In Q3 of 2023, Carvana sold 80,000 retail units for total revenue of 2.7 billion while demonstrating continued significant progress on its path to profitability. And like I said, this includes record Q3 total gross profit per unit, and then also record Q3 net income, record Q3 adjusted EBITDA, Carvana's second consecutive quarter of more than 100 million of adjusted EBITDA. So this is a great quarter by any sense of, or by any really measurement. This is a good quarter for Carvana. So Carvana successfully disrupted the auto industry with a proven e-commerce model serving millions of satisfied customers and is the fastest growing used automotive retailer in U.S. history. While the macroeconomic and industry environment continues to be uncertain, looking towards the fourth quarter of 2023, the company expects the following as long as the environment in retail units sold, driven primarily by industry and seasonal patterns. You know, we've talked about this with Tesla. You know, interest rates higher, that typically means we'll see less car buying, right? People typically finance a car when they buy one, so interest rates going higher makes it harder to finance a vehicle. Therefore, there's going to be less vehicle sales in aggregate. And then positive adjusted EBITDA for the third consecutive quarter. Looking towards 2024, Carvana expects to drive significant total GPU and adjusted EBITDA for the second consecutive year. And then positive adjusted EBITDA for the third consecutive quarter is being projected for Q4. So once again, great quarter, good numbers for this quarter, and we're seeing projections of solid numbers in the future. So with that being said, let's take a look at some of the short interest numbers for this company. So we can see here that the company has 42% of the float sold short, massive chunk, right? And we have 5.3 days to cover. For those that don't know, 5.3 days to cover basically means that it takes 5.3 days of average volume to cover the shares that are sold short. So also, we can see here that the shares available to be shorted are roughly 2.6 million. This is briefly zero, actually, at a point today. So interesting to see there. But it's also worth noting that we've seen this short borrow fee rate come down drastically. We're now about basically where the average is for the market. And then we can see that Fintel ranks this company as the 614th most likely stock to have a short squeeze. And for those that don't know, that this is basically just within 14. Well, first off, this is how Fintel ranks every single stock in the market. They rank out every single stock in the market based on short squeeze likelihood. So this puts the stock within the top 14% in terms of short squeeze likelihood. So definitely signaling, a good opportunity in terms of a potential short squeeze. So Fintel is thinking that this stock has a high likelihood of a short squeeze. It's not where we were kind of months ago. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, you would know that I put out a video when the stock was about $7 saying that I thought we would see a short squeeze, thought we would see a furthering of that short squeeze at around $20 again. So I've been calling the stock out for a while on this channel. Shout out if you've been on this channel for a while. But so definitely not seeing those high short interest numbers that we were seeing months ago. Yes, short interest is still relatively high compared to the rest of the market, but those we're not seeing a screaming high likelihood for a short squeeze like we were months ago. So that's just reality. Would love to say it's kind of that's not the case, but unfortunately that is the case for this stock. So with that being said, let's take a look at some of the Wall Street analyst ratings for Carvana. So we can see here that there are 2 buy ratings on Wall Street for Carvana, and there are 6 bearish ratings. So unfortunately, the general consensus for Carvana is a bearish one on Wall Street. Wall Street's wrong all the time, so it's not the end-all be-all, but it is worth noting that Wall Street generally has a bearish consensus. And in terms of recent upgrades or downgrades, we actually saw Wedbush upgrade the stock from underperform to neutral with a $48 price target, and that was in September. And then Evercore, we saw them increase their price target to $42, which is basically them just kind of maintaining an inline case for the stock, but still $42 is nothing to sneeze at. And then we did see, unfortunately, PNB Paribas, they downgraded the stock from outperform to neutral. Don't love to see that. So, that's kind of a bull that we lost on Wall Street within the past couple weeks. That was just on the 12th of last month. So pretty recent downgrade. Obviously not the NLBL. Wall Street's wrong all the time, but it is obviously worth covering. And then with that being said, let's take a look at the chart and give a price prediction for Carvana. So we kind of bounced off of that 200-day moving average at around $24. And we're seeing a move higher up to resistance at around $31. This $31 level is roughly where shares have bottomed out in September of last year. It's roughly where shares had topped out in June of last year. Past support acts as new resistance. So we're seeing that here a bit. So what I'm hoping to see for the stock in tomorrow's session is we'll get a move over this resistance level, and we'll see a move up to the next major level of resistance to about $35. So I think we get a move from 30 to $35 in the coming days. Obviously, that's barring any massive sell-off. That's barring, anything crazy happening. And keep in mind, we haven't broken through this level yet. So another scenario for the stock is that we come back down to test the 200-day moving average at around $25. In fact, I would even wager to say that's a bit more likely. I don't love saying that. Obviously, for those that have been watching the channel for a while, I've been a Carvana bull when the stock was $7. It gives me no joy to say that the stock is likely to move lower. But from a pure technical standpoint, not talking about the fundamentals, not talking about Wall Street, purely looking at the chart right now, we can see here that the chart is implying that we probably come back down to test the 200-day moving average at around $25, as I said. So that's kind of the likely that's kind of my base case. Now, like I said, if we get a move above this resistance level at around $31, we would likely see a move up to $35 over the coming weeks. So that's kind of the bullish scenario if we see the stock close over $31, or excuse me, over roughly $31 in Friday's trading higher. But obviously anything can happen. And like I said, my base case, my prediction is that we probably see a move back down to the 200-day moving average at around $25, excuse me. And so this stock has been trading for 5 years now. It's worth noting that in November, shares do typically rise 1.3% on average. This screen shows me the average monthly return for this stock. So in November, shares do typically rise about 1.5%. So nothing crazy there, not the NL be all, but just something I always cover on all my videos here. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton, and I'll see you here next time.